Hey guys, King of Charmander here. Today I'll be your judge, your jury, and your analyst. And today I bring to you Love Cup practice battles with BrijSheeeesh. Breach is a fantastic battle, multi-time legend, and of course you saw them last time for the Sinnoh Cup practice I did. You're going to see a lot of different combinations here, and you're going to see a lot of different switches, etc. A lot of playing around to see how much things do for damage, and hopefully we give you a whole lot of different looks to help you prepare for the upcoming Love Cup. That's actually tomorrow, so that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the battles. Again, thank you very much to BrijSheeeesh for these practice battles. I was literally working out, and then you messaged me, and I was like, okay, cool, I can get Love Pro practice. I finished my workout, and then I was like, all right, cool, now we can scrim. And this was a lot of fun, and Breach showed me a lot of things that I'll probably use and feature for the Love Cup in my future content videos. And hopefully, again, I hope this video does help you out and give you a good idea of what to run for the Love Cup. And for my mental health tip of the day. So, my mental health tip of the day. I really appreciate my community. I love every single one of y'all. With that being said, make sure y'all check up on, well, I always say check up on your friends, but also make sure that you are establishing relationships. It's okay to be introverted. You know what I mean? Introverts, y'all don't like going out. You spend a lot of energy when you talk to other people, etc. Me, I turned from an INFP to an ENFP, so I was previous, like, it's kind of like, for me, my profile is like 50-50. Like, I'm fine with being alone and doing my own thing, but also, like, you know, I love my friends, and I definitely am a lot more flamboyant and flamboyant when I'm around others. So, again, having friends is good for your mental health. Having those friends you can talk to and that make you feel supported. Pokemon Go has a fantastic community outside of the toxic positivity for PvP, but we're not going to talk about that right now. So again, hopefully you have those long, remember month 1, hopefully you have those good friendships for Pokemon Go and you still have those established. Everyone needs a relationship, like not a romantic one, but like, you know, friendships. Friendships help you a lot, helps ward off depression, helps give you someone to go to when you're having a rough time. And like I mentioned, if you have your Pokemon Go friends, which some of you probably still do, you still have that close friend group. Me, what probably keeps me in this game isn't just the fact that I'm part of Rebel, and I love our freaking organization. That's why I love representing, and that's why I wear this jersey. But also, I do have my close friend group that I still play with. We have dinner like every other weekend or whenever we're not busy, and we trade, and then we just talk about like Niantic's fails or just like how our lives are going. So again, get those friends, keep those friend groups. Again, I appreciate my community. I really do appreciate every single one of you, because I never envisioned this much success on you. Even though I like a lot of people say you should be a lot higher there. I'm like, you know, everybody goes at a different rate. So even though I've never factually had that really lucky break to where like I've gotten, even though I've been doing this way longer than a whole lot of other creators, especially for PvP, I'm fine with my progress. Everybody goes at different progress, and I will reach the promise. Well, I already feel like I reached the promised land, but that's because I appreciate y'all. Anyways, without further ado, again, thank you to BrijSheeeesh again, and I hope y'all enjoyed the battles. Alright, again, thank you to BrijSheeeesh for the battles. He does a really good job of bringing a lot of variety, so you're going to get to see a lot of stage switches, etc. First match, we got Talonflame and a Scrafty, so this is a good matchup for us. And then I throw Electrode into Talonflame. So the good thing about Electrode is, as you see, mine's is blue. I got some blue balls. Okay, that's really bad. Okay, I'm not going to cut that out. But anyways, as you see here, we're going to discharge. We're going to fire. My shiny Electrode is going to discharge, and you know, now I say blue balls and discharge, it sounds really wrong, but okay, you know, I'm gonna stop, okay? PG-13, I'm just kidding, this isn't WWE. Anyways, we take out the Talonflame, but they have shield advantage. So this is good, however, this is also bad. The reason it's bad is because I don't know what Breach's back row is, so even though I have Medicham, so it's like they have shield advantage, but I have Medicham for this Scrafty, so not only that, Scrafty is going to have a ton of energy, so we're going to see how this plays out. This is probably going to be a power punch, and then he's just going to farm me down, or this KOs. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna send in Medicham. I'm gonna try to beat the unholy crap out of this Scrafty. So we don't know what he has in the back row. So as you see, it is a Charizard. So I have to be really fancy here, or I lose. Well, I think I lose in general, but watch what happens. So we're gonna have to super bait with the power up punch. So punch, punch, punch. And then as you see here, we're just gonna keep on punching. And then I bait for another power punch. I'm gonna go straight pup because my idea here is that I might as well get a ton of chip on this Charizard so that my Talonflame can get some energy. As you see here, all we're gonna do is we're gonna just continuously beat the unholy crap out of this Charizard. I let this go, so I'm gonna let my Medicham go, and then all we're gonna do is farm down this Charizard, get the Brave Bird on the Scrafty, and that's GG's. So give ultimate game plan. I don't shield anything here, and it happens to be an overheat, and I'm like, why didn't I shield? Remember I told you I was gonna lose? Yeah, I should have shielded. I was like, why didn't I just shield? And I was like, oh, what happened is I actually tapped on the shield and I paid no mind to it. I was like, you know what? Because all I really had to do was shield that overheat, and then all I had to do is Brave Bird. Because of the fact that Scrafty didn't have power punches or anything like that, I would still get a move. I basically burped for the victory. So don't screw your win conditions. Just put it out there. Don't screw your win conditions. As you see here, I say switch into Electrode. And so here's what happens. And this is why I love Hyper Beam. We're going to summon the power of the energy. This blue balled freaking shiny Electrode is going to go ham. And we are going to beam our way into a one-shot on Wigglytuff. And this is why I love Hyper Beam Electrode. Because it wins back switch like that. This is awesome. We got the Slowbro coming back in. But we got Alomomola. We have Wigglytuff. So this team that I'm using right now, it's one that I believe I put on one of my top teams. You're just using... It's essentially a tap-tap team with... Yeah, it's literally a tap-tap team with Hyper Beam safe switch potential, or taking back switch, as you saw there. So, as you see here, all we're going to send in is Wigglytuff. Wiggly 2-shield or Alomomola 2-shield strat is basically what we're going for here. We have two dominant monotyping. So, as you see here, we get a Charizard. So, all I'm going to do is send this Alomomola, and this is pretty much GG's. All you have to do is just align, waterfall down, and then all I have to do is charm. I can choose not to shield here, but mine as well. So, all we're going to do is just waterfall down this Charizard. And then we are going to just charm down the Slowbro in the back. That was, again, it's a very RPS-y team. You can take back switch, but Alomomola pairs well with Charmers because Alomomola covers the fire typings, and then Wigglytuff covers the fighters, which generally Alomomola is weak to. Alomomola will lose to Medicham. It also loses to a revved up Scrafty. So if you could take back switch like you did here with Electrode, it's a wonderful team. And definitely something I want to try out for the Love Cup when it comes out. As you see, with shields down, all we have to do is just charm, and that's GG's. Nothing this Slowbro throws at me will KO, and then it's game. Again, really solid. I like Wigglytuff just because its ability to resist Lick. You can use Clefable in its place, but I just like Wigglytuff because of the extra bulk it gives off. And like I said, it does resist Lickitung's Licks. But there's nothing wrong with Clefable either. If you have Clefable, Wigglytuff, you can sub a Charmer. It's just really up to you. We got Scrafty onto Alomomola. So remember when I told you that, yes, the fish loses hard against fighters? Well, you're about to see it on full display right now. As you see here, what I'm going to do is, I was like, okay, you know what? I might as well just sack Alomomola in the lead. The reason I have Electrode in the back is to try to take back switch, but here's the problem. Alomomola and, of course, Magcargo will lose to this Scrafty. So this Scrafty is going to rev the unholy heck up. And as you see here, they go for the foul play and then into the pop. Fantastic bait and fantastic play by BrijSheeeesh. I'm hoping to get the debuff here and a shield. We grab a shield, but no debuff. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we're going to fire. I'm just going to basically get as much energy as humanly possible. And we're going to try to come out with a dub. This freaking Scrafty is revved up to oblivion, so I have to shield. Even if that was a power punch, it's still going to hurt a lot. And I attempt to farm down, which was a terrible idea. I thought I could farm down, but as you see, with 1 HP in a dream and IVs matter sometimes, there you go. Some plays just don't work. And we get a Charizard into my Magcargo. So this is pretty much game. They have a full... BrijSheeeesh has a full Mon in the back. You still have... My Alomomola is pretty much dead, and that Scrafty still has a... Well, it doesn't have a ton of energy, but with a full Mon plus shields, this is pretty much game. There's no way to get out of this. And, like, this is why Charizard with Dragon Breath is actually a great idea. Wing Attack is good, but more on that later. I sack my Alomomola just for practice. And my fish looks at me and is like, did you really, like, okay, so that's, I'm assuming that was an overheat instead of a Dragon Claw. I have no idea why I did that, but that's GG's. So, as you see here, I sacrificed my Alomomola to the sack gods, and for practice. For the next battle, we have Magcargo into Scrafty. This is a terrible lead for us, but this is a really nutty battle. You'll see why. I say switch in Electrode. And, of course, Breach already knows that, alright, you know, this Electrode's got them big beams. The big beams. We beam all day, every day. Foul Play goes through, and as you see here, I'm pretty dead. They switch into Slowbro, which is okay. So what the game plan here is, okay, you know what? I might be able, I don't know. This is really dangerous. Because here's the problem. They're going to Focus Blast me, but I can farm down this Slowbro. So Galarian Slowbro, like I said, it's not a terrible safe switch. However, it really depends on how the match plays out. As you see, my game plan here is to summon the Rock Tomb, grab a shield, but I'm going to have to shield this incoming Focus Blast. Because there's no point for Breach to try to bait me with Sludge Bomb. He could try, but then at the same time, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to Incinerate down anyways, so there really is no point. Focus Blast, and then of course the Onda Sertera, the Spirit Bomb from Goku that Majin Buu somehow, well, Majin Buu died. Frieza died, and no, Cell lived. No, Cell got killed by a Kamehameha wave. Remind me, because you know the Cell Saga was one of the greatest things in Dragon Ball Z. The good thing about this is I might be able to come out with a win con because I have Wigglytuff on Scrafty, and lo and behold, we get a Talonflame. So now what Breach has to do here is he has to call it right. If this is a Brave Bird and I shield it, I win. If it's a Flame Charge, he wins. So, as you see, I call the Brave Bird. All I have to do is Ice Beam down, and then I should just be able to Charm for the victory, and that's GG's. That's why I like this combination. Even if you lose Switch, Magcargo, and Wigglytuff, if you can catch the Scrafty or the Fighter into Wigglytuff or your Charmer, that's GG's. That's why freaking Charmers are so powerful in this cup, and which is why Charm needs to be nerfed, because, yeah, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. That song is... Wait, when did that song? I don't know. You know what? Y'all can... Yeah. Anyways, this is what I mean about Charizard with Dragon Breath. As you see, we get a... Yes, we get a Shiny Scizor, Shadow Scizor. Incredibly impressive. I'm mad jealous that Breach has something... That's a good Scizor. Anyways, as you see here, I make a terrible mistake. I swap into freaking Medicham, and my life... I'm looking at myself, I'm like, why the hell did I just do that? I should have switched into Electrode. But we get the Psychic that goes through, which is beautiful, actually, which is great. So we get the Psychic to go through. I'm going to fire a Power Punch just to rev up. So I may or may not have killed my win con. So we'll see what happens here. As you see here, I'm going to have to shield the next move anyway. So I'm going to go down 2 shields. And I'm in a lot of trouble. So I'm going to shield this. It's a Psychic. I might have been able to actually live that, but I'm going to let it through anyways. And then what's going to happen is that Scizor comes in. My idea here is to just do as much humane damage as possible. Charizard does resist these bullet punches, but Shadow Scizor does a ton of damage with these Night Flashes because it's Shadow. Now here's the issue. I'm in a lot of trouble. Unless I have a Mon that like dominates the back row, this is pretty much GG's. We get an Alomomola, and this is pretty much game. With shield advantage, this Alomomola can comfortably just shield both of my discharges, and then I'll have a move for Charizard. So, again, had I did it the other way around and sent Electrode as my safe instead, I may have done better. Per se, Charizard will have a good chance against that Shiny Scizor, and then Medicham does really well against Alomomola just because of the bulk, etc. So, as you see there, I fired the Psychic, and I attempt to go for yeah, this is game. There's no way in heck I come back from this. I try to farm down. I could have fired the second Dragon Claw, but it doesn't matter because they still have a shield, and then Breach is going to Night Slash me for the dub. Good game. Very good GG's by Breach. Next up, we have my Medicham into Magcargo. Medicham lead is still very strong, strongest fighter other than Scrafty. And then I could expect him to switch out, and we get a Slowbro. So we get Slowbro into Electrode. Very generic placement. So here's why it's bad. Yes, this is Medicham, Electrode, and Lickilicky. However, there is an issue with this because with Lickilicky, the problem with a Lickilicky and Medicham is the fact that you lose to Charmers, because if Breach has a Wigglytuff, I'm in trouble. Lickilicky can surprisingly sub for Lickitung XL. You'll see in one of these battles how much damage Hyper Beam does, and it's absolutely freaking ridiculous. Like I mentioned in my top teams, don't underestimate the beam. As you see here, we're going to be able to fire another discharge, and then Magcargo comes through. Here's the issue though. So, yeah, I got a Magcargo, but he can comfortably tank it, and I switch into Medicham. And then we get Wigglytuff into our Medicham. That was a terrible idea. I should have just let it go, send in Medicham, shield whatever comes through, and then I have Lickilicky full on into this Wigglytuff. As you see here, I'm just going to freaking fire all my power-up punches. However, I should have never given up switch in this scenario. Let it go through, take it out, but then at the same time, the problem is Magcargo has a ton of energy. And now my only win con in this scenario is to really, I have to lick down. I have to lick down, but there's a lot of problems here. As you see, I'm licking. I will shield this, and yeah. I basically jacked this up. So I shouldn't have shielded that to the first place. And then as you see, I'm going to attempt to lick the unholy hell of this Wigglytuff. And it happens to, Breach switches in. As you see, I try to catch the switch, but it doesn't relatively matter. If I body slam, yeah, the issue is that Breach has enough energy for enough anyways. As you see here, they take me out, and that's GG's. I don't know why that little lag happened, but I should have never given up switch. That was my issue. So, yeah. Had I not given up switch, I could have body slammed the Wiggly to the death, and then I could have tried to power punch, etc. But then again, the Magcargo had a ton of energy, so as you see, I safe switch into Lickilicky. This features Medicham, Lickilicky safe switch, and then you have Alomomola in the back. I'm going to shield. This is probably a Brave Bird, and you're going to see just how powerful Lickilicky is as a safe switch. Brave Bird goes through, and as you see Alomomola, I'm recklessly tapping on the Hyper Beam. So, as you see, hashtag get beamed. No hesitation. We are going to summon and say Kamehameha, Turtle Wave, and the beam is going to go through. And that does a hell of a lot more. I was like, oh my god, that does so much damage. They fire off a move. Do I shield this? Yeah, I do. I elect to shield and then try to lick down. So I'm going to lick down. Yes, I'll be down 2 shields. However, I have Medicham and I win back switch. So let's just hope our back row is strong against whatever comes in. I still have enough energy. Hopefully, I can fire up these body slams and they can do some chip. Hopefully, we grab a shield or two. The good thing, the reason I'm doing this is because I have a Alomomola for this Talonflame, and I can comfortably live a Brave Bird. 1 Brave Bird, not 2, just 1. I send in a Alomomola, but I get locked in. And it happens to be an Electrode, which is, I was like, oh crap. Okay, so again, saving for sacking might not be the best idea. So even though I got that waterfall through, I think my idea was like, okay, I could get a waterfall through and I could possibly lick for the victory. Because Breach doesn't know what I have in the back. The problem is Medicham will get one-shotted by Brave Bird. So my life, I made a very terrible life choice. As you see, Breach just throws all his energy here. I should have never swapped out. Should have just stayed in. I can get some energy on this. I can get some energy off this Electrode. And then Lickilicky might be able to just lick down for the W. So that's my game plan here. I send in Medicham to try. I want to force him to burp. Because the ideal scenario here is I lick down. I should have fired. As you see, I try to sack, but it doesn't work out. I overtapped. But I should have fired the power punch. And now we're just going to pray we can lick down. So as you see, lick, lick, lick. And we are happening to lift down. So my second win con that I didn't even think about actually freaking works. So as you see, Lickilicky with Hyper Beam is nuts. You can replace Lickitung XL with Lickilicky. Hyper Beam, as you see, that did big damage. So it works. So yes, you do not need a Lickitung XL. Lickilicky can work in its place. I would say overall it can get some better win cons from you. As you see here, I swap into Magcargo and I make so I'm super happy. I'm like, oh my god, it's true. And I'm like, I don't shield because I'm like, okay, how much does Hyper Solar Beam do? There's no way this one-shots. There's no way this one-shots. Damn. My Magcargo looks at me and he's like, bruh, really, dude? Really, bruh? Bruh, you just sacrificed me to the Pokemon gods, bro. I was like, I was dying. I was like, really, bruh? I was like, bruh. All of you are probably watching this and like, you're like, King of Charmanders, you're an idiot. Here's this guy that's like supposed to be a master analyst, and you're like, you literally just threw so hard. All you had to do was shield, bruh. And then Alomomola, well, you know, it wasn't the wrong one, but then, okay, so here's the problem. I should have hyper beamed. I should have beamed, but I didn't. Always go for the beams. Always go for the big balls play. Always have huge, mundane, really large coconuts. Always go for the big coconut play. Unless you really feel like you must be. As you see here, Breach is like, you know, he's not going to beam this time. I send in my Alomomola to try to, my Slowbro to try to mirror this. I will take a move, but I'm going to have a ton of energy, so that's my game plan here. Hopefully we can come out to W, but we'll see what happens here. Hydro Pump goes through, we resist it, and we're going to just go ahead and we're going to psych it down. So my idea here is that hopefully we can come out with a W. Keyword is hopefully. So we got a Alomomola. We know we have that Churm, and it happens to be a Scizor, and I'm like, ah, crap. So I'm going to fire Water Pulse here. I mean, Psychic, and I'm hoping to get the debuff. But this is kind of GG's, because as you see, that goes through. I don't know why I didn't fire Water Pulse. Had I fired Water Pulse, that would have went through, and that would have been great. But we didn't fire the Water Pulse. Night Slash goes through, and then they don't boost, thankfully. And now I'm going to have to lick the unholy crap out of this freaking Scizor. I think, like Breach mentioned, I think he over-tapped on that, because I was like, okay, because they definitely had a Night Slash ready. So I should be able to lick down, and it might be a simultaneous KO here. One Weather Ball at this range won't actually kill. Make sure y'all shield Solar Beam, because Churm is still a deadly safe switch if it hits you with the Solar Beam. And it will one-shot your Magcargos, as you see here. And that's GG's. I hope you guys enjoyed the battle. Thank you to Breach again for these battles, and I really appreciate the practice. And that's GG's. I hope y'all enjoyed the battles. I definitely enjoyed the beams. # get beamed, and thank you to Breach for beaming me with Churm. I love Churm. As you see, I talk so much smack about Churm being a terrible safe switch because of Fire Archetype, but as you see, you can in fact wipe an entire freaking Magcargo if you manage to land Solar Beam. So, might not be a bad idea. You can do something like, there's actually like, now that I think about it, Double Beam Churm might not be a bad idea. If you can Hyper Beam through shields against a Talonflame, you can KO. If you can Solar Beam through shields against a Magcargo, you can KO. So Double Beam Churm, that's something I'm going to look at for a safe switch. But as you see here, if you could take back switch with beams or however the way you do it, you can possibly realign and come back with the W. Again, thank you again for Breach. Hopefully this gives you a lot of different looks. As you see, beaming is not only a bunch of different, a lot of fun, but it can also create win conditions for you. And the Love Cup for this season, you have a lot of recycled mons that you have for like Greatly, like Medicham. Like I just featured right here, Lickilicky can replace Lickitung. You don't really need Power Whip. Power Whip is to hit a Alomomola, but as you see, a Hyper Beam from a Lickilicky does a decent amount of damage, and it can take back switch from you if they don't shield. So, y'all use your Hyper Beam Lickilickies in the name of King of Charmanders, and y'all tag me on Twitter for it. And I hope y'all enjoy it. But anyways, again, thank you so much for the love and support. If you do me a huge favor, speaking of support, you see next to these two Charmanders, there's a sub box. If you put your mouse over it, you can easily subscribe from over there. Put your mouse over it, bam, sub tap pops up. Really appreciate my current subscribers. Good luck in Go Battle League sets, and I will see you guys on the next video.